welcome to the DL Gaming Podcast. I'm Bobby.
I'm Nick.
And I didn't play any video games, so I have a lot on the radar, but we'll get to that.
I suppose we will. Well, let's just get to it right now. There's really nothing to announce.
I mean, we were talking about it today, just because it's one of those Patreon things that we don't think about it very often. At the $18 tier, you can basically make us review whatever game you want. And now we're adding something to that, thanks to... Who gave us that recommendation? Somebody gave us a recommendation that also movies on the DL. At the $18 point, you could just force us to fucking play or watch whatever you want. You kind of have that right now, but I can still say no. So this is basically like entertainment rape.
Yikes.
Yikes.
Well, are we going to be doing, just a quick question, like for that, are we going to be asking the Patreons to select one of us to to review a certain game?
I'm willing to whore myself
on
out.
the DL, but
yeah,
is that how that works?
Patrons, they're patrons.
Yeah,
patrons. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm willing to personally whore myself out. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, me neither. So,
all right, cool.
All right, now that that's settled,
we're not very smart over here, dude. It only costs you
No.
$18 to make us buy a $60 game. So.
All right, let's move to On the Radar. Let's get right into it. These are games that have come to our attention recently, games that we would like to play. The first one I wanted to mention is The Eternal Cylinder. I got a beta key for this, closed beta, very excited. This is by Ace Team. I interviewed someone from them. They're these three brothers that work down in Chile, and they make really interesting games. I love all their games. The Deadly Tower of Monsters, I know that's one you've played, Emilio.
Yeah.
I really like the Xenoclash games, 1 and 2.
Arguably your favorite developer, right? Or one of.
Yeah, there's just something about them that I really enjoy. They make different types of games, but there's always something very enjoyable about them. Most people will know them from Rock of Ages.
Yeah, quirky as shit.
oh, okay.
Yeah. This is their new game, though, The Eternal Cylinder. And I have a beta key until March 25th, so I will definitely be playing this next week. Yeah, the idea, it's like a survival game, but there's this giant rolling pin moving across the planet that forces you to move. And the little creature that you play, kind of looks like Hubert, can pick up different abilities. He can absorb abilities from creatures that he runs into.
Yeah, you're basically evolving to stay ahead of this thing, right?
Yeah.
I think you're taking DNA from different things. It's so strange, man.
It's very bizarre. It really looks, visually, it looks like Xenoclash, where you're just in this very surreal world. So I like the look of it, and they seem to always come through.
You know, it's so weird too, dude. When you talk to him, when I listened to the interview, totally normal dude. Like, just sounds like a developer. And then him and his brothers come up with this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you would think he would be a super out there dude.
Yeah. But yeah, looking forward to that game.
Yeah, for sure.
This looks amazing.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this game. I hope it's so crazy. I hope they can pull it off. I hope it's fun. It's definitely interesting. I just hope it's fun.
I wonder if it's a roguelike, because like if you get crushed by the cylinder, like what happens? Like what's the consequence?
Who knows?
Save points. I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know how the gameplay is going to break down, but I have faith in them because, like I said, their games, there's always something about them that I find very enjoyable. They make fun games. Like they just don't. A lot of games you play and you're just like, that's all right. You know, it just doesn't really connect or hook you or anything, but I've enjoyed all their titles.
Is there going to be an NDA on it?
I don't think so.
I hope not. So thanks to Workonius, he put up a lot of good things on the radar. Very quickly on our Discord, we have a little section called On the Radar that ties into our On the Radar here. I don't always select all, but you know, I definitely before every show I check everything, and anything that looks interesting to me I put on here, and so that's how you guys can contribute. Cyanide and Happiness, Freakopcalypse. Freakopcalypse. Say it, Bobby.
Freakopcalypse.
Yeah, that. It's a point and click adventure, which I hate, but I love Cyanide and Happiness. I really enjoy their type of humor. It's usually pretty fucking vicious. Like, it starts off cutesy and almost ends with really terrible shit, you know? And the art of the comic book is like one of the, of any comic, it's so basic. It's almost like stick figures, just a step above stick figures. But this game looks great. Like the backgrounds and stuff look fantastic. And just watch the trailer. You'll know once watching the trailer. You'll know if that's your brand of comedy, and you can make your selection after that. I guess it's coming out March 11th. I think I'll probably be picking this up.
No price on that yet.
Nope, no price.
Very cool.
Do you have a guess for the price? I'm guessing $29.99.
Oof. Yeah, probably because of the brand name. Yeah, I'm going to say that. I'm going to go with that.
I don't know. That seems high, but how much gameplay are you getting? That's the real question.
Who knows? I get a real South Park Stick of Truth vibe from it.
Yeah, it feels like that.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing game.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, what you got?
As far as what I got for this week, I have Warplanes World War One fighters. As someone that doesn't have a VR headset, I haven't really seen anything that will really cause me to buy one. Stuff like this really catches my eye. It looks amazing, as far as controls and things like that, and how certain aspects of World War One fighter planes are being applied to the game. If you get a gun jam, you whack the guns and stuff like that. I love aerial combat games, and so to see a really functional one, I guess you could say, really stands out. So I'm excited. I might pick up a VR headset if anyone knows any good deals or knows any I don't know, any ones that would rely on my graphics card instead of the Quest, because I thought about getting the Quest, but I feel like getting a different one would be better. But yeah, no, this game looks great.
Some fun facts about World War One fucking dogfighting, which is super strange. They would have handguns, they would shoot at each other with handguns, and the casings would fucking fuck them up because they're going at pretty good rates. So they invented these, basically a little cage on the side of your gun to catch the casings, so you don't catch a casing in the eye or crack your shield or whatever. It could fuck you up at those speeds. You know what I mean? That's a funny thing. And then the other thing is that the machine guns are calibrated. This is World War One, man. I mean, fucking cars and planes had only been around for a few years, and they're calibrating the machine gun to shoot the bullets in between the rotations of the propellers, because the guns are almost always mounted behind the propeller. But you're going to shoot your own propellers off, right? So you got to think about how the fuck did they do that back then? That's crazy. That's crazy. Every bullet has to go in between a propeller. Insane.
That's actually a big controversy of World War One is who actually designed it. There's a controversy in regards to who designed the mechanism that pulls the trigger, who designs the mechanism that detects when the propeller's out of the way. And so that's a historian argument everybody has for World War One. But as far as weird weapons of World War One and aircraft, dude, the French used to throw darts, buckets of darts, from the plane, and they were made out of steel and iron.
Yeah.
And they would fly at such a speed, they would go through I think it was 6 inches of wood, no problem, and kill people underneath.
Damn. So you just dump them out of your plane?
Yeah, they would have a box. There's illustrations of it. They would just have a box and just yeet it off the side. And it would mess people up. Sometimes it was more effective than bombs.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy. And cheap.
Wow.
Yeah.
Getting a history lesson here.
Yep.
All right. Another game I wanted to talk about was Fire Escape. Now, this is a VR game, and it's only about an hour long, according to the reviews. And it's pretty much the movie Rear Window, the Hitchcock movie. Are you guys familiar with that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. You've definitely seen this in some sort of parody, The Simpsons, Family Guy, American Dad. They've almost everybody's done a Rear Window parody. The story is a photographer breaks his leg. He's stuck in his house. He's got this big window that looks into the back of other people's houses, and he sees all this stuff going on, and he thinks he witnesses a murder. He sees some really suspicious stuff. But that's what this game is. You're just looking out a window, and you're looking into other people's windows. and seeing their lives and figuring out things about them and apparently solving some sort of mystery.
And pants are optional, I'm guessing, huh?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It is VR. You can do all sorts of stuff. I kind of like this though because it's short. Like I don't think a game like this needs to be that long, and I don't know if the VR really adds anything to a game like this.
Seems
but I
like a
guess
weird
that's kind of
one.
cool.
Yeah, seems like a weird one for VR. Like,
I feel
why
like,
that?
is this one of those games where like it has multiple endings based off of what you observe in the game? Like, is there like a hard time limit?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Hmm.
I would
wonder.
doubt it if the game's that short. I just read a few reviews and one of them said it's about an hour long and it's more of a visual experience. So there may not be a lot of gameplay involved in it. It's not a very expensive game. I think it's on sale right now, almost half off for around $5. Yeah, usually 10.
You gonna pick it up?
I might because I mentioned last week I really want to play something VR. I haven't used the headset in a long time.
Yeah.
And this seems like one that wouldn't require a lot of moving around. I like the sitting experience in VR.
Yeah. I've got. Let's see. What do I have next? Oh, kind of close to your World War I thing, dude. This thing called aircraft carrier Prologue. What a cool little idea. So what I'm basically getting from this is it's almost like Gothic Armada, or I've never played it. It's my idea of what Gothic Armada is, where you control a capital ship. On this, you control an aircraft carrier in World War II, and so you have a few things going on. You have the aerial battle. You're sending off planes. You're defending against planes that are attacking you. And then you have the whole XCOM cross-section thing where they cut the thing in half, and you can see all your little dudes and your resources, and maybe this room gets blown up, so you got to get some resources over there, put out some fires, a little bit of a FTL, I guess, that way. But this looks way more complex than FTL because you only had a few rooms in this, and here you have like engine rooms and bays and all kinds of stuff. It looks really good, man. Lofty. You're taking on a lot. This is very complex. Even in their trailer, I saw some glitchy camera or like graphics going on. So and it's not out yet, but I hope they get everything working because this could be a really fun game.
No price yet.
No price.
It looks really interesting. Like you said, it's probably one of those games where people like will mistakenly buy it. Like, oh, it's like a boat management game or like an aircraft carrier combat game, and then it's like scatter your brains like super fast, like trying to do everything.
Yeah, I don't think that you can pause it kind of game. Like it looks like it's real time damage management and stuff like that.
That shit's nuts.
I probably won't play it, but I can see a lot of people fucking really digging this.
Well, as far as like my last thing on the radar, I have 30XX. I like Mega Man. I like Mega Man clones, and 30XX is one of the ones that I've discovered lately. They made a game called 20XX, which is like the precursor to this. It's got super good reviews, so everybody's talking about, hey, they're making it a new one. The cool thing is that it's co-op, as you can see in the video. Like it's pretty much like a same exact Mega Man clone. The starting screen is 8 bosses, and you start in the middle, and then you face a final boss for that overall world, and then you go to the next one. So
yeah, we all know how Mega Man works.
Did you play 20XX?
Hey man, there's some young people here that might not know, right?
Did you play 20XX, Bobby or Nick?
No, I haven't. But I might pick this up and then play 20XX. The weird thing about this game though is that like there seems to be some sort of like level editing aspect to the game where you can literally like change the level in some way or another, like the textures and like where platforms are and stuff. So it's pretty interesting.
So Chad and I played. I talked about it on the podcast. 20XX. Chad and I got because it was free on Epic, and we played co-op, and it's a roguelite. It's a roguelite Mega Man. It was a lot of fun, and they do that whole thing where like if one person falls behind, you teleport to the other person, but it costs you some life to do that. So there's a little and there's a bonus for moving through the game quickly. So all kinds of stuff going on in there. It's fun for sure. All random power ups that you're getting, and sometimes you have to strategize about who's going to pick up which one. Had a really good time with it.
Cool. I love
these
these
games
games.
How dare you sneeze on my review, man?
I'm allergic to
These
your
games,
review.
yeah, these games really freak me out when people are like, "Yeah, I beat Mega Man in 2 hours with no hits," and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
And like, meanwhile, I can't fucking do a jump puzzle in like a clown world, and I get hit by like a jelly cube, and I just die, and I don't know. But they're great games. I love them.
In San Jose, I was playing Street Fighter, and as a young kid, and there was a few legends in town. Like these are the best guys, and one of them was playing against me. He was handedly kicking my ass. But anyway, a little kid came up to him and goes, "Can you help me? Like, I want to get as good as you. Like, how do I get good?" And he's like, "Kid, play a lot of Mega Man." That was his thing. Like, really teaches hand-eye coordination. You got to be fucking spot on with a lot of stuff, especially back then. This is a lot more forgiving than NES Mega Man.
Those old Mega Man games really hold up too.
Yeah.
They have the Mega Man Legacy Classics collection that you can get on Steam. It's a collection of a lot of old Mega Man games, and they have them for all the different ones. I have the first one, and I played through like Mega Man 2, I think. I'd really want to get the ones that have the Super Nintendo Mega Mans, because Mega Man X, I think, was my favorite. Really loved that one.
That's the one where you could throw fireballs if you do the secret, like a Ryu
Yeah,
fireball.
the secret Hadouken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Emilio. Whenever you go like back when I played Street Fighter, or back when I played like Magic the Gathering, that's the gamer version of like back in Nam.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Nick, did you ever go to the arcade with me?
Not with you. I used to go to the arcade because my dad would like go shopping for my mom, like to buy her shit, and he would be like, "Go to the arcade. Here's $5," and I would play Soul Calibur because it's the only game I could beat people in and stuff. So
There was a time that I was pretty decent, man. Anyway,
I believe it.
go ahead.
The last thing I wanted to bring up is not a game. It's a pair of glasses. So we talked a few weeks ago about Razer making the mask, right? This is Razer's glasses called the Razer Anzu Smart Glasses. And I read through the description of this. I'm like, well, what does it do? Like, what's the catch here? Like, what's the hook? It's you can get your prescription lenses in these, but I guess they're just basically a pair of glasses that have speakers in them, and they respond to voice activation. You can sync it up with Google or whatever voice command system you use. But they're $200.
I mean,
Pretty steep price. No RGB.
you could buy glasses.
No RGB. Ah, man, that's the make or break deal for me. I can't do that anymore. I was gonna get them.
My Ray-Bans were like over $200. So, and they don't have speakers in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wonder how the speakers work because it doesn't look like there's anything that plugs into your ear.
No.
I
hope they did a good job on this, man. I hope that you can hear it and other people can't. Because what I'm seeing is the little holes on the outside that tell me that the speaker's on the outside of the thing that goes around your ear. I hope other people can't hear your porn going off.
Yeah, I don't know. You can do calls on this. You can take calls on it. It's just anything like a regular voice activation thing would do.
The front of the frame looks fine, but the sides look terrible. They are so unappealing.
They're very
they're
fat.
chunky.
Yeah, they're big. It's a hefty pair of glasses.
I got to see some reviews.
The square ones look okay. The round ones look terrible to me.
You know what's
Yeah,
cool?
they look so weird.
You know what I'm thinking about
Like
this
Harry
right now?
Potter.
At work, I have to wear safety glasses all the time, and the reason you can tell safety glasses is they have a thick side, because they have to protect from the side. Like maybe I could pass off these for safety glasses and fucking. I mean, I already have my earbuds in, but a pair of glasses might be better off.
Yeah, then you catch a rogue nail from a nail gun and go straight through this shit.
Razer makes the weirdest things. I haven't had a Razer product in quite some time now.
I've always wrote them off as kind of like flashy, but not the greatest.
Right? I really like their mice. I used their mice a lot about 10 years ago, and some of their keyboards.
I wonder how many masks they sold.
Project Hazel, their
Yeah, I
RGB
wonder how many
mask.
they did sell.
I don't know. They do look cool. Can
Find
wear
me sales numbers.
that.
But
Circuit Superstars. Cool little idea, man. So if you remember, geez, I don't remember the name of this game. There's an arcade racing game where it's top down and it looked like you're controlling RC cards. They weren't though.
RC Pro
Yeah.
AM.
RC Pro Am.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like that. A little bit skewed perspective, but it's a little more serious than that. Like they have pits, you could pit stops, and they have like wear on your tires and stuff, and when to pit. But you could turn that off. It's a multiplayer game. It's $15. This looks like a awesome, great game night game. I don't know how many play. It says multiplayer online. I didn't see what the player cap was, but just the way that it looks, it's super cartoony. But I could see people getting really competitive and yelling at each other. It looks like a lot of fun to me. How many? 11 people. Yeah, that's perfect for game night.
Wow.
Yeah, $15 is a lot to ask for a game night game, but maybe we could pull it off someday, or if it goes on sale.
Yeah, like super off road.
Yeah, it's in early access right now. I saw 3 different cars types. There's the open wheel F1 types. There's trucks, and there's like rally. Like a destruction derby type car. I don't know if that changes the race modes, but it's the aesthetic that really. They look like micro machines. That's what it is. I love the look of it. What else do I got? This comes from you, Christian. Hood, Outlaws, and Legends. So this game looks like a AAA title. Has great graphics. I've always enjoyed this type of gameplay. It is like, oh man, I'm gonna hurt for this title. It's the one where teams of 2 try to go and kill a boss and escape with
Hunt Showdown.
Hunt Showdown. Yes, but this is a team of 4, and you're thieves in medieval times. So it's groups of 4 players. I don't know how many groups, maybe 4, maybe 6, and you're trying to steal the same thing and get away with it, and you without alerting the AI guards, or getting killed by rival groups of bandits. So I've always loved it. I'm terrible at these games. Nick, you played fucking Hunt Showdown with me. How bad was I at that game? It was bad.
It was like leading a blind and deaf dog.
Yeah, it was
like,
bad.
Through a Macy's. It was pretty bad.
Through a Macy's. I remember the game didn't run very well on my PC for some reason. Hunt Showdown specifically, they've always had kind of like issues.
Yeah, they've always had issues with that.
This seems, again, lofty goal. And I'm looking at their other games and like, what is on there? Curse of the Dead Gods is on there. Go to the developer, not the publisher. Sniper.
This is the developer. They went from Sonic to fucking this awesome looking game, dude.
Yeah, it's a huge jump, and I really hope they pull this off. But like, yeah, I hope it works. That is a lofty jump.
Well, it's not just any Sonic games. Those are the Sonic racing games, which are actually really good. They're these kart racer games with all the Sonic characters.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. I love them.
Cool. Glad you think they're good. I was looking for a kart game, dude. I didn't know that those were good. Then what else? Door Kickers 2 Task Force. So that Door Kickers 1 I own, never played it. It's just one of those things.
I played a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a tactical. It doesn't look, because it's top down and kind of cartoony, right? It doesn't look like it's very technical, but it is an actually technical game.
Mm-hmm.
You, at least in this one, it's a multiplayer game where you're like a SWAT team, and you have to plan the breach and who you're going to take out and where you're going to put bombs and who you're going to save.
Welcome back to another episode.
And try to not like get the hostages killed or have the real bomb go off, stuff like that. That's like Counter-Strike stuff, but it all seems kind of cutesy because it's like cartoons and top-down perspective, but it's all serious stuff. Looks interesting. Seems like something it would be fun to play with some people.
Mm-hmm. Door Kickers one was pretty good. I played a little bit of it.
Got really good reviews.
Real quick on this, if you want to see like someone play the game who also has like a military background and who kind of breaks down why you should look around this corner and why this guy should be behind this other guy. Friend of the channel, Controlled Pairs, does a lot of videos on this, and people love it. Like, getting tons of views and really fun to watch. So
cool, awesome. And I think that's it for me. Oh, Mask Maker. That's another one from you, Sniper, right? I thought it was a great idea.
Dude, this looks fucking dope.
It looks so
like
good.
It's like Myst, dude. I love the concept.
So there you go. Kind of Myst-like. You're trying to get through this 3D world, and it's not so much like puzzles, traditional puzzles. This one, you're getting components from masks, and then building the mask, and then putting it on, and then you get some of the abilities from that area's people, I guess, or person. So you're kind of like taking on some of the aspects of the people that live in that area to get through that area, and then you get to the next area, and then try to collect the areas to make the next mask. That's what it sounds like. There's also like a mask maker master that's he voices over the video, and then at the very end he goes, "But remember, you're in my realm." So it sounds like he's like the last guy or whatever it is. So looks great, man. Conceptually, is a great idea. Maybe this is something else you could check out, Bobby.
It requires a VR headset. Comes out April 20th. Little ways on this.
Yep.
Very interesting concept.
Yeah.
No price yet.
Interesting.
Huh. Bobby, did you play Star Citizen?
I did, man.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, let's talk about the games that we have been playing. Yeah, pretty wild, huh? I had to. Somebody bought it for me.
Oh, shit.
So somebody, a Demented Warlock, very kindly offered to buy it for me. And I told him, look, man, I appreciate that, but it's like $45 for a starter pack. So by no means don't feel obligated to do that. And he said, don't worry, I've already spent a lot of money on this game. It's no problem. And apparently if you buy this stuff for other people, you get a little bit of a kickback or something.
Okay.
So I was excited to check it out.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And I really need to play with somebody else who knows what they're doing, because they don't hold your hand at all in this game.
Dude, I couldn't, when I played the demo or whatever it was that I took somebody else's account over for a little bit, I couldn't even get in my ship, dude. Because every ship has a different like way to get in, and you have to find the fucking...
Yeah, they don't. There's no. You don't just run up to something and press a button and then it just automatically does something. Like every little thing you have to do. For instance, when I started the game, you start laying down in a bed. It took me forever to figure out you have to press Y to get up. So just to do that, like, I had to look up a YouTube tutorial just to figure out how to really get started in this game. First of all, this game is incredibly intense graphically. My computer cannot handle it. It's been a while since I've loaded up a game that my computer really struggled with. I think the last one was Deus Ex Human Revolution. Tried to max out the settings on that. My computer was like, nope, not happening. This doesn't give you a lot of graphics options. You choose the resolution. You choose like low, medium, high, ultra. They don't give you a lot of options. So I went right down the low, and it's still a little
Did
iffy.
you bump down the resolution?
Tried bumping down the resolution. Didn't seem to make much of a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What video card do you have?
And maybe let people know what you're running.
I've got a 1080.
Yeah.
GTX 1080. Yeah, it's old. I bought it in 2016. It's been 5 years since I bought a graphics card.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. Terrible time to buy a graphics card right now, though.
And arguably, I mean, I'm not sure. We talked about it a little bit, but I think Bobby and I might be building new PCs this year. I think we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's such a horrible time to do that. Like, I went through Amazon and PC Part Picker and like put together what I would do for a build, and it's just everything's over MSRP right now. CPUs, GPUs, like prices are gouged.
Is it
it's ridiculous.
COVID that did that? You think more people are like...
I think it's that. It's
COVID and a silicon
Bitcoining.
shortage. Yeah.
Yeah, the silicon shortage. And I don't think people really understand you can't just make a whole bunch of graphics cards. Like you have to go to factories and they have to print the silicon. Those factories are working 24/7 pretty much all the time. You buy time to get your stuff printed. So everybody's trying to get their stuff printed on silicon. So it's extremely competitive. So there's a huge shortage and everybody's just gouging prices and and we have these bots that automatically buy stuff so quickly now and then try to sell them for more on eBay. It's just, it sucks, dude. It's a shame that PC gaming is like this and probably will be for the next couple of years. I don't see it. I don't see it's been like this for a while, dude. It's not getting any better.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad.
What if you buy later, like last year's shit?
I looked at a 2080. It was still ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah, they're still high. Like when I got my 3070 and I just got it off a whim. Like I woke up that day and I was like, oh, I got to go to class at home today. And I logged in. I was like, oh yeah, the 3070 goes on sale today at Best Buy. And I logged in and I got one. And I was like, holy shit, like this is nigh impossible. And I look at it now and it can sell for like 2 or 3 times as much as I bought it.
Yeah.
It's absurd, dude.
JP Diddy's going through a rebuild right now, and he's like, dude, it is so hard to get shit right now. And he's trying to do a whole water-cooled setup and stuff, and he's just having a hell of a time getting everything together.
Buy a PlayStation, I guess.
Speaking of, I actually got a PS5 day before yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
You shared the picture on Discord.
Yeah, I ended up playing The Binding of Isaac on it first.
Wow,
that was the first thing I played
use of
on
a
it.
PS5.
Yeah. I'm really testing out the specs, you know.
Pushing the limits. But back to, or I guess I'll finish up with Star Citizen here. We talked about how this is such a vast universe and they don't hold your hand through any of it. What I realized just playing, not very much of it, but I realized right away, this is like an MMO kind of. I can see how people spend the money that they do on this game.
It's a life simulator, right? Like a space life simulator.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me of Cyberpunk a little bit. It's like Cyberpunk without all the quests and the quest lines and, the main storyline and the cutscenes. And it's not quite as flashy Cyberpunk, but you really do feel like you're living in this persistent world and things are happening. The trains come at a certain time, the doors open and they close. There's no like reloading or pausing. It's really more like an MMO than I had originally thought. I looked at the quests when I started playing this game, and there's some delivery options. Obviously, I'm not going to mess with the combat yet. I don't know what I'm doing in the spaceship. I got in mine. I tried to fly it around a little bit. They use every key on the keyboard, man. Like everything on the keyboard does something. I thought, okay, let's not do any combat. That's a little out of my league right now. I looked at the delivery missions, and they said, if you fail, they will not like you or something. Maybe you lose some reputation. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to mess any of that up. Then I found one quest and it's bio-waste removal. I'm like, all right, that's my job. That's what I'm doing. Because there's no like little mini mission or tutorial or anything that like starts you off and like, here, this is what you do, kill 10 wild boars and, you're on your way. So I was like, okay, let's start off with the bio-waste. So
we're back at Viscera cleanup detail.
Yeah, pretty much. But just getting to the location was crazy. I'm looking at YouTube videos, just figuring out, okay, how do I use the transit system? Okay, I follow this line, I go there, and then I can transfer.
It's like going to a new city or something.
Yeah.
In a different country.
It really is quite impressive, man. Like I could see how people get into this game and spend the money that they do because you really feel like you are investing in something real.
Like a Second Life.
Yeah. Second Life. That's a dated reference. They do have a mode you can load
I
up.
have the dated reference, dude. You fucking play video games from somehow before they were invented.
Nobody talks about Second Life. Nobody mentions that game anymore. It just had a cool name. That was really what it was about. And wasn't there an Office episode where they found out Jim had a Second Life character? I don't know. Anyway.
And it's I think he plays Second Life as Dwight or something like that.
There was some funny thing about it.
I actually have a really weird Second Life story. So like back when I used to go to the club and stuff, me and my buddy went to this club and we didn't know that like every other Saturday they have like some weird like community day or something for like some sort of community in the Bay Area. and it was the Second Life community. And dude, I have never been in a more awkward club at all ever in my life, dude. It was so weird. Like all these people were just like talking to each other, and then like there was just people just standing in corners and stuff and like looking away. Like it was just, I was like, oh man,
Yeah,
this is
because
really
you're
weird.
trying to make unsocial I don't know, unsocial people social. You're trying to get them to mingle. That's a weird jump, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
no,
could be. I don't
definitely.
know. I don't know. Every time that I go and hang out with people who spend a lot of time online, other computer nerds, I don't usually run into that, the social awkwardness.
No. I mean,
There's a
Yeah.
big difference. So like Second Life
yeah,
is
Second
like
Life specifically.
you hate your current life most of the time, and then you go play Second Life to escape.
That's what I get from it.
Okay.
Because it wasn't a game like WoW where you're trying to overcome difficulties together, like overcome these bosses and raids.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's none of that. It's like just a second life, another you. You don't like your you or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
You like legit have like a job and shit, and like, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Like people will like get home from their real life job and like be like, okay, in 10 minutes I gotta start my job in Second Life, and like
Yeah.
it's so nuts.
Okay. But like, I'm ready to shit on it too. Like, we're watching a video, meet real Second
not-
Life residents. They all look normal, but like, what's the difference between doing this and playing a game? Really?
Huge difference,
Here's
man.
my thing. I'm not shitting on it, right? Like, dude, if you're an adult and you got money and you're not killing anybody or you're not hurting anybody, you can
whatever
fucking
you
do
want.
whatever the hell you want.
Mhm.
Like, yeah. And so, like, do I make fun of it because I think it's weird myself? Yeah, granted. But, like, there's not, like, I'm not going to not talk to somebody because they play Second Life. You know?
He's just saying he was in a cringy situation, yeah?
Yeah,
Well, at
that's
the end
exactly
of the day,
what
all
it
you're
was.
doing is sitting in front of a screen and pressing buttons.
No, dude, it's completely different.
Dude, it's completely different.
playing a
You're
game-
nuts.
Playing a game that's fun, right? And then joining your friends to do
Fun
this,
is a relative term.
to do this fun thing together that was built for fun, as opposed to for something was built specifically for escapism. That's a huge difference.
Yeah,
There's
this
one has
literally,
goals.
there's
Probably the
literally no
best term
difference
to-
in what
that's
you
the best
said.
term to
One
say
has
is
goals.
escapism.
One has goals, and the other one doesn't.
Second Life doesn't have goals?
No,
Have
well,
you played Second
acquiring
Life?
things.
I don't know, dude. This is like, I don't know. I'm not convinced. There's no goals in this. Is there any goals in life?
2 weeks later, we're gonna find Sniper playing Second Life for like 18 hours a day.
I'm just saying, dude, at the end of the day, this is what I think about, dude. I think if I was a rat in an experiment and the scientist would walk over and be like, yep, he's still at that little box screen thing and he's just hitting those buttons. I don't know what, he just does it all day. We don't understand why he does it.
This is
Like,
why.
It would be,
Here's the big difference. The way you make true friendships and have really good times is doing difficult things together.
not really, dude, because the minute that your goals don't align, I'll find some new friends.
But you're both playing the same game already, so you do have similar goals.
Yeah, but then somebody goes on a different quest or starts playing a different game, and then that friendship usually suffers because of it.
That's fine. There's thousands of other people that have similar goals to you. Go to the other one, and there's not difficult things to do together. There's no tribe that you can build in Second Life. You're just trying to.
I don't know. I've never played Second Life, but I'm sure you can do something. You can start a business together, or you can
Yes.
become real estate agents. I don't know, but
I think the thing that we think about or me and Emilio think about when we think about Second Life is exactly what Warplanes just said in the chat. It's like, what is the difference between like a WoW quest to collect the Sword of Destiny or whatever, and a Second Life quest where a 55-year-old man is acting like a 16-year-old girl?
There's a huge difference, man.
Like that is what we always like default to, is like the ultra escapism, or like the people trying to take advantage of people on there. And so like that, like I have a clear bias to it. Like I'll never play Second Life.
Hey, I was a 13-year-old boy pretending to be a 19-year-old girl, taking advantage of some man. So I feel personally attacked, but you know what?
I'm gonna call
Second
the
Life
internet
people,
police on you.
You keep playing Second Life, you people. Don't be shamed.
All right, I gotta pee. So that's the end of this fucking.
So speaking of
But
like
I want to hear.
relationships and
Are
building
you going to
shit,
play a bunch more?
Of Star Citizen, yeah, I need to play with somebody who knows what they're doing
Yeah.
and someone who's got a real fancy ship and can show me the ropes, dude. There's just there's no other way. Watch 1,000
You're gonna
YouTube videos, maybe.
you're gonna play with somebody. It's like, yeah, man, I played this game pretty casually. Has like 1,400 hours in it, and like when his ship rolls by, like behind the fucking space station, it's gonna be the interstellar music, and it's just gonna be like, wow, you're just gonna see their ship.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I mean,
that
there's
the
so many levels to this game that I haven't even gotten close to. People customize their ships and their gear and their characters, but there's different modes in Star Citizen too. I should have mentioned that. There,
yeah,
you can
isn't
load
there
up
like
into
a
like
game? Aren't there games within game, like in the game? Like there's like a combat like sim and a bunch of other stuff like that.
I'm sure there is, but when you actually load into the game, you pick: do you want to join the persistent world, or do you want to just do some dogfights in space, or do you want to do basically a first-person shooter? I loaded up the first-person shooter one, and yeah, it's just like a basic first-person shooter team deathmatch, and it was all right. But the real draw is the persistent world, and there's so much to this game, and I barely even scraped any of it. But it's going to be a steep learning curve. Really, my biggest problem right now is my computer. Like, I just don't know if it can handle it. Might melt my
Yeah.
computer.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that. Like, I would say, just try and try and try and try. But, dude, getting a PS5 was nigh impossible. Like, me and my brother tried. Sony was doing this thing where you logged on to the website, and you waited in a queue, and everybody in the queue was selected randomly. And it was apparently like their way of battling bots. Like, it wasn't like an aspect of who can click the fastest. Like, you got into a queue, you either you chose what version of the PS5 you wanted, and then you checked out, and you were guaranteed it, right? So that didn't work out for us. And so one day my brother's just browsing GameStop, and then he sees like the button switch from like out of stock to in stock and clicks it. Well, he clicks it, accidentally orders 2 PS5s, even though you're not even like supposed to be able to do that. And he's like, "Hey, you want it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I ended up paying him and ended up getting it, like I said, day before yesterday. So it's all luck pretty much at this point to get normal pricing stuff.
I don't know. It might be different with consoles.
I
really haven't
this is
tried
one-
it. Dude, honestly, I haven't tried that much to buy a lot of hardware right now because I don't feel the need to upgrade. It would be nice to be able to run this game at a decent frame rate, but what I have it at right now is playable. Like, I can do it. It's not spectacular, but it's not terrible.
I think in the next like year or two, we're gonna get the start of like more and more graphically intensive games, like based off of draw distance and things like that. Like the higher we go in resolution, like you're starting to see more and more 8K TVs come out and stuff like that. I think we're gonna start seeing more and more 8K monitors, like just like how 4K and like 1080p like happen. So
8K?
I think
God,
8K. Yeah,
it's
dude.
pretty useless though if you're playing on a smaller screen. I can't imagine having a screen big enough to require 8K. I mean, even like a 65-inch TV with 4K is still kind of like, I think, justifiable, I suppose. But do you really need 8K on a 27-inch monitor?
I don't know. That's not like I'm probably never gonna buy an 8K monitor. I'm using a 1440p monitor right now. I got a 3070. I'm living in fucking 144.
Yeah, that's what I have. I've got a 1440 with a 1080. Yeah.
And so like when it comes to 8K, dude, like I think it's gonna be one of those things where it's like with like the 4K TVs that I have now, as soon as they become sub like $700, I'll buy one. But it's like that's like my price point for it. But that's gonna take a while because I think right now like an 8K TV from Samsung is like $6,800. So,
but why?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of other things.
So new.
I think there's other thing. The whole chasing more and more resolutions. I think that eventually pans out. So there's other things that they're looking at. RTX shading and that stuff.
Refresh rates.
Yeah, refresh rates. But honestly, I think you get 120 and you're fine. Anything at that seems
Speaking of
pretty
which,
smooth.
Yeah.
I already talked about it on Movies on the DL. Our new podcast, check it out. I'm going to be getting a projector for the backyard. I want to set up a permanent outdoor theater. If anybody has any input on this, I'm wondering if I should get the 4K one, which is like 3 times the price of a 1080 one. If it's worth the price. If you have any input, let me know. Hit me up on Discord.
I haven't heard of someone buying a projector in so long. Like I remember the last time even looking at projectors, the like thing to get were like pocket projectors that could project up to like 70 inches and shit like that.
Oh no, now
So
now they have like 4K ones with fucking HDR, all kinds of shit. Basically everything
I always
screens have.
I feel like the make or break though with like projectors is like 100% of the time is lighting.
Yeah, well, I mean it's an outdoor thing, so we're only going to be using it at night, so it's not a huge concern. I feel like.
Yeah. But you talked about this earlier, Bobby, like becoming friends with someone like with a similar objective. And dude, this week I probably had the closest moment with a stranger in a video game in probably like years. So I was playing Squad, and I was playing Squad yesterday with like Sniper and a friend of ours named Stunt. And it's pretty fun because like we're cracking jokes the whole time and we're not playing too seriously. And so we're playing as like the insurgents or we're playing as the Russians or whatever, and we're at war. But today I was like, I'm just gonna log on. I got like an hour free time, like the baby's taking a nap. And there's this guy in my squad, and his name's Beck. And I'm like, cool, like whatever, like that, that's a recognizable name. And he's like, dude, get on the back of my motorcycle. You have a hat. And so a hat is a heavy anti-tank like class. And so a normal rocket launcher is like good for taking out like Humvees and stuff like that, but a hat is like what takes out tanks. And so me and this guy, we're playing as like this militia, and we're going around on a little motorcycle. And mind you, this game isn't like Battlefield or Call of Duty where like crazy shenanigans always work or like crazy shenanigans are always being done. Like people take it very like I guess you would say try hard or like seriously. Like average engagement distance is at least like 60 meters.
It's a realistic game. You don't go around doing crazy shit.
Yeah. And so me and this guy, we have a motorcycle. The motorcycle's stocked to the brim with ammunition, and we're going around blowing up tanks for like a solid 20 minutes. And we're getting calls from the command like, hey, if you can disable this tank here, we're gonna artillery barrage it and stuff like that. And dude, we've took out so many tanks that like the commanders like in the game were like, hey, tell those guys to do this. That like they were just giving us direct orders because we were so effective.
That's awesome.
And like I felt so bad because like the baby woke up and I was like, oh man, this is really fun. And I was like, hey man, I gotta go. Like, and I felt really bad. I was like, add me on Steam. And he's like, I don't know how to add you on Steam. And I was like, I gotta go. And so we never added each other or anything. I felt so bad, dude.
You know what it makes
and
me feel? On Craigslist, there's a weird little tab called misconnections. It's so weird. You basically like if something like that happened in real life, you go on there and you're like, hey, I was at Ralph's and I walked by this guy in a blue shirt. If you're him, hit me up. Super like what are the chances that that's
dude,
other person?
Yeah,
but it's gonna go on there and fucking. There should be a misconnections for fucking gamers, dude. That'd be awesome.
I think
on Reddit, dude.
Yeah,
it'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think there is one on Reddit. Yeah, we dude, I just like I said, I never had a connection because we weren't even like talking about like anything like interesting. We'd be like, yeah, man, what do you do? Like, what do you do? Meanwhile, the whole time we're like shooting rockets and like killing people as they're exiting like APCs and stuff. And we were just so good.
That's a viable strategy though, like a really fast moving, high power. You're a glass cannon, is what you are, right?
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, like, that made us so lethal was that we were in like a dense forest, and so we could zoom through the trees and shit, and like the tanks were just stuck on the roads.
That sounds really fun.
It was awesome.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
I want to say that's ridiculous that he couldn't figure out how to add you on Steam, but
Yeah,
is it
maybe-
just me, or has Steam been kind of a pain in the ass to add people on? Like,
Well,
have you
the
tried to
reason-
add someone as a friend lately on Steam?
Yeah.
Yes,
you have
I-
to find that plus sign, and it's not.
There's
very
like a
appealing.
friend code or like an invite code that you send
Oh, I don't know
them,
that.
and
No.
then it's very
Yeah.
confusing. I feel like it didn't used to be that difficult. A lot of games have it built in. You can just like see players that are currently in your game, add them to your friends list. I feel like it
I
used to
tried
be
that.
simpler.
I tried that. I tried like the seeing who's in your game and stuff and seeing who's on the server. It didn't work. Like I was right clicking and I was like, I had 2 minutes to go. Like the baby's crying, and so I had to go. And which I would have loved to add the guy, but I think I think that splitting up, no matter what, not like knowing I'm not going to be in contact with him again, makes the experience all that much better.
Nick,
Um,
Nick, Waconia said he sold his PS5 for $1,200, dude. I think you should fucking do that.
I'm not hurting for like money at all.
But still,
And I
that's
kinda-
double up, right? That's doubling your money.
Yeah, maybe.
Of course, when did you sell that?
And you sent it to
Because
your,
Warconia's got it right when it came out.
and you sent it to your brother, who's not going to use it. You're the second one, right?
No.
Oh, he
You
got
missed
two.
what
He
I
got
said.
two.
My brother got
Yeah.
two, and he sent me one.
Hmm.
I actually bought my godson, his son, a PS5 for Christmas.
Mm.
And so I was like, here's $600 when it's available, buy him the PS5, or $500. I was like, buy him the PS5. And so my brother has nothing to do all day pretty much. And so he was just like constantly bouncing between stores and stuff. And he finally got two, surprisingly.
Where we at? I got a little lost in the weeds here. Let's listen about Antstream, Bobby.
Antstream is a website you can go to where you can play retro games. So again, Demented Warlock told me about this. This is a really cool website. Not only can you play these games, you create an account and it kind of fills in the gaps that, all these games were missing back, or all these features that were missing back in the day when these games were made. Leaderboards, like high score, friends list, things like that. It's a nice little program, and they have quite a few games. They've got not just retro games like Galaga and Asteroids, but you can play Mortal Kombat, Earthworm Jim, some Super Nintendo titles. It's really cool. You sign up for it. You can download it for just about any platform, and it's free.
How do they make the money? Do you know?
I don't know. They must have a paid-for version or something.
Yeah,
Maybe
with the
some
fee.
advertising.
Yeah, maybe.
It's probably advertising.
Did you play games?
Mm-hmm.
Did it work out?
It worked pretty well. I got to figure out. I think it works better with the controller. I got to figure out where you can map the keys. But once you start the game, it tells you, okay, here are the keys for this particular game.
That's cool.
And it wasn't quite what I was used to on a keyboard, but
What'd you pick?
I played a lot, man. I played a little bit of Earthworm
I
Jim.
love that game, man.
I played the really old Asteroids, like the Atari one. They had some old Atari games on there.
Oh,
Yeah, and I love those old games. And a lot of times you can just straight up Google like whatever game you want to play, and there's websites where you can load it up. I don't know if it's Java or what, but you load it up right there in the browser and you can play it. And it's great if you want to just quickly relive something, but you don't really want to go through a lot of trouble. But I do like the high score and the leaderboards on this. That is kind of cool because you can see like the highest of the high score or where you're at. So it adds that kind of competitive side to it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a nice little program here, and it's all free, which was really impressive.
Nice. I'll
Yeah,
talk a
pretty
little
awesome.
for the fourth week in a row. I'm going to talk about Borderlands. Right now, I had a really rough week. A lot of shit went south, but I think we're back, which is good. And Borderlands has just kind of been my escapism this week, especially. But it's just like a safe bet. I play Borderlands, I feel good. That's how it goes. It's my heroin. And inside the game, I could have sworn. Sorry, guys, if I talked about it, but I double checked with everybody. Everybody said I haven't talked about it. On Sanctuary, which is the spaceship you use as the hub to go to your missions, there is an arcade box. Said arcade box is called Borderlands Science. You walk up to it, it has a little quest. You click it, you watch a video from the girl from Big Bang Theory. Does a short video. Apparently, she's a PhD in real life. She explains to you that they have sequenced the DNA of a bunch of viruses and bacteria in the world, like all the bacteria. It's all been sequenced, but they did it so quickly and so fast that there's tons and tons and tons of errors in the sequencing, and they don't have time to basically go through each one and take away the errors. They turned the error removal into a kind of a Tetris type game, and so you play this like Tetris type game, which everyone is solvable. Every puzzle is solvable, but not everyone is you can't do 100%. You can't be a tryhard and get 100% on each one because you're playing with DNA sequences. So all you're doing is basically taking out the errors, and it might be kind of difficult. It gets a little bit harder. They give you harder and harder ones as you go, but you gain points. It's fun. I did it for like an hour and a half, and then you get these credits, and you can spend the credits on things that help you in Borderlands, like 2x experience or plus 5% to luck find and stuff like that. And the whole experience was great, man. I liked it from top to bottom. It was great. Really good idea. You're helping out scientists. I don't know.
That is
Sounds
cool.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
This is the kind of thing they need in loading screens.
Just do a scientist job while you're doing a loading screen.
Yeah, did they have a version of Bejeweled you could load up in WoW?
Yep.
Yeah, people would play that.
Oh god.
Or they're waiting on people for the
I
raid.
remember that.
Yeah.
Anyway, cool idea. I hope it works out for them. I thought it's just cool.
Nice.
So when it comes to science, there's only one group of people in the Warhammer universe that are good, better than anyone else, and that's the orcs. And so there's a game that came out, and it's called Dakka Squadron. And for the people that don't know, in Warhammer 40k, Dakka is what the orcs call weapons, and the orcs have Australian and Cockney accents in Warhammer. And this is a game where you actually get to play as one, and you play as a pilot, and you fly like a junk jet. And
Can we explain
it's
how
got some pretty good reviews.
how their shit works, Nick? So
Yeah,
they're
so
not
they
technical
actually
at all. There's some
Yeah.
sort of magic in their culture. I don't know that
So-
makes things work if they believe it works. It just kind of
Yeah,
works.
there's-
They throw it together, and if it looks like it works, it just kind of works until it doesn't.
So to explain for like in layman's terms, every race kind of has like a god, and orcs have two gods, and they're essentially the strongest gods that exist in the Warhammer universe conceptually. And their gods allow things to happen in the physical world as long as the orcs believe that it can happen. And so if they think it can happen, it happens. Like, so if they're riding a motorcycle and the motorcycle runs out of gas, and the orc's like, this thing ain't out of gas. It'll keep driving for as long as he thinks that there's no gas in it.
That
He
doesn't
thinks
seem
there's
fair.
gas in it.
But
doesn't
they're not
s-
very smart though either. So
Okay.
they're not thinking of like a planet exploding bomb, and so I don't know.
Yeah, and so there's a funny joke, right, where it's like these guardsmen are fighting these orcs, and these orcs are advancing, and the guardsmen are shooting at the orcs, and the orcs are taking like minimal damage, and so they think about what they've trained against fighting orcs, and they're like, maybe if we think our guns are like rocket launchers, they'll kill the orcs, and so they start shooting the orcs, and the orcs actually start dying. And so they kill like thousands and thousands of orcs, and then all of a sudden they're not killing anymore. And as the orcs, approach their front line, all they hear the orcs saying is, "I'm a tank, I'm 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 a tank," and they overrun the guardsmen. And like just because the orcs believe that they're strong enough to do something, they'll do it. It's crazy.
It's really weird because sometimes they go against these really advanced races like the Eldar, which are like hidey-tidy fucking highbrow motherfuckers, right? And they're like, how the shit does that shit work? How is that thing driving? Because it's just a bunch of parts thrown together. It's like junkyard things. Anyway, I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, this game it's got really good reviews. I don't remember the price. I played the demo. I really liked it. Their main selling point, I believe, is like 20 versus 20 or 40 versus 40 multiplayer. And so it looks great if you like a point and fly game where your main flying controls are the mouse and like W and S to control the throttle and stuff. But it's really funny. Like, I was laughing the whole time I was playing it.
Is it only multiplayer?
No. So it's got a story. It's got a story mode. It's got some customization. They said that as it's been released, they will, if there's a lot of interest in it, they'll keep adding things like customization and stuff like that to the planes. But there is a single player and then there is a multiplayer. And I believe the things that you earn in single player transfer into multiplayer to a limit. So,
okay.
But yeah, you get to choose like your gang, like your orc gang, and like these guys are the Rama gang, and like their planes are made to run into other planes. And so it's funny as all hell.
Yeah, it looks like Star Fox almost in a weird way. You have the plane right in front of you and you're controlling it in a similar manner.
Exactly. That's exactly what it feels like as Star Fox. So if you like Warhammer 40K and you like Star Fox and you like orcs, pick up this game.
There you go. It came out the 18th of February.
Yeah. Like I said, it just came out. I played the demo 2 days before it came out. I want to pick it up, but I don't have anybody to play with. As far as like, I can't convince my friends to buy a Warhammer 40K game, even if I bought it for them. But I don't know. It seems like fun. We might have to do a community day or something if we get some keys.
Looks like it's about $20.
Just invite your friend Beck, dude.
Dude, I gotta find Beck. Beck is going to be the missing link. We're going to have the DLG community find Beck.
All right. I wanted to talk about two news articles that I came across because they're very similar. So Anthem 2.0 has been canceled, as well as Artifact 2.0. So the idea with both of these games, they were not a success. The developers said, okay, let's go back to the drawing board. We're going to completely redo everything, release version 2.0 with Anthem and Artifact. It's been so long and there really hasn't been that much interest in the games. I guess they both, around the same time, decided, you know what? I guess that's it. Let's just scrap the whole thing.
Let's talk about how many times it's actually worked. Besides No Man's Sky, I can't think of another rework. I mean, No Man's Sky wasn't really a rework.
It wasn't a rework,
They just kept working on it.
Yeah, it was like an early access game.
And it became good. It
kept getting developed. There really aren't a whole lot of success stories when it comes to something like this.
Which is why the Snyder Cut probably won't be good. But we'll see.
I don't know, we'll see. But the Artifact game is a little different. So what Valve did, they designed the game originally, like Valve often does, to be a money-making scheme, basically. They wanted to make lots and lots of money selling, getting a cut on things that were bought and sold in the market, people buying packs. What they've done is just said, you know what, here's the game that we were working on, 2.0, and here's the old one. If you want to get that, they're both completely free. Every single card in the game, completely free. You can't buy packs anymore, nothing. But there will never be a single update for this.
Yeah.
So they're just living it. No, I have zero interest in this game. I never had an interest when it came out. I don't do a lot of card games like this. Played a little Hearthstone, don't mind them. But Artifact, this one famously got booed at the Dota Internationals when they announced it.
Yeah.
This just never had a chance, really. Unfortunately, you played it. It's a decent game. It's not terrible. It's just, I think people were really put off by Valve trying to capitalize on the game, trying to make money off of it. What's strange is they didn't really do anything different than they do in their other games, but because CSGO and TF2 and all these other Valve games, Dota, they already have the community of players. They don't mind throwing money at objects. But for some reason, when this one came out, I guess because they released it at the same time and like with all the money making stuff. In the other games, I feel like all the market came later,
Yeah.
But with this, it just, I don't know. People really didn't like it.
I see what you're saying. Like maybe they should have went free to play and then started adding pay options.
Yeah, or maybe not make it so upfront that, hey, you need to spend money on this game to get the packs. I think the problem was, and a lot of games run into this, was it wasn't like you need to spend money to get the cards you want. You spend money to get the chance to get a card that you might want.
Which is how packs work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunate for both of those games. Anthem will probably continue to be updated periodically, but it's not going to get the rehaul that they had imagined.
It sucks, man. It really sucks. I like that game. I was the only one.
Yeah, not a lot of support for Anthem.
What else we got? Just Mexican candy, huh?
Yeah. So
Bob, it's called, the segment's called Bobby Tries a Mexican. Oh shit, I should have got the name of this. So it's basically a lollipop with a saladito in the middle of it. A saladito is a salted plum.
okay, that's what that is.
Very common Mexican treat, the salted plum.
The salted plum.
I mean, I grew up on these things, man. I fucking love salt, and it's like a dried salted plum. I know it sounds so weird.
It's just stuck on there like it's not supposed to be there. I was confused by it at first.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just covered in salt, man. I don't know how else to explain a saladito.
Well, the sucker part tastes exactly like every single other piece of candy he gave me. It's got that kind of marmalade, spicy taste to it.
It's probably tamarindo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, the salted plum tastes like a plum. It's pretty good.
Really?
With salt.
Huh.
Oh, that is very salty. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost, besides the plum part, it's just salt. I have bags of saladitos here. I mean, as a kid, I grew up on saladitos. It's a very Mexican thing. Do you like them, Nick?
As long as I have a water with me, yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty intense, man. But then you could buy like saladitos with chili or lemon salt on them or lemon juice, and they're so good, man. I love saladitos.
We have like 4 flavors of nice things in Mexican culture. It's like chili, salt, lemon.
Yeah.
I mean lemon or lime.
Yeah.
And like more salsa. Like that's about
Pretty
it.
much. Yeah. In various
Caramelo, caramelo, delicioso y ahí.
Jesus Christ.
what was that? Yeah, what do you think, Bobby?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I'm glad you like it. It's sweet and salty, I guess, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's a contrast.
And a little spicy.
A little spicy. I'm glad you like it. I'll do the listener questions if I can. I'm getting drunk, guys. So let's go to the listener questions. Nick, you want to do the reading? We haven't done that before.
Sure, I'll do it. We have the first listener question is from Anime Lover. Have you ever used cheats in a game to beat it early? If so, which game and which cheats? I've used WeMod a few times in Witcher 3 to help me get more gold and increase my stats for the boss fights. Anyone?
You're a dirty cheater, anime lover. Like, I did this as a kid. Like, I remember having a Game Shark and like.
Oh yeah, Game Shark.
Cheats were really big. Oh, by the way, probably don't know what a Game Shark is.
Konami code.
So, a Game Shark was a cartridge of its own that your cartridge game would go into, and then you put the Game Shark. It was like a condom. It's a cheating condom, dude. I know condoms are used a lot in cheating already, but this was like a cheating game cartridge condom, and you put it on your cartridge. You put it in your Nintendo, and then you would have these codes, like in a booklet or something, that you would punch in, and it would change the game fundamentally, like the coding on the game.
Yeah.
And so it would basically lead to cheats. So I guess the game I know I was just talking about it. What's it called? The
Game
Game
Shark.
Shark?
The Game Shark. The people over at Game Shark, I guess, were like fucking with the code and finding out these codes for you to change. Well, the best one ever was in Street Fighter 2. You could basically turn it into Championship Edition because you could unlock Vega and Balrog and all the end bosses as playable characters. And that was huge, man. Yeah, how fucking big that was for us.
Yeah.
That was really big.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. I had a Game Shark, loved that thing. I don't really cheat in single player games, well, or multiplayer games. There's not much of a motivation to do it in single player games, I guess. I did use a cheat. I think the last time I ever cheated at a single player game was for Castle Crashers. One of the very, very few times the Steam Cloud has let me down. I lost my save and my progress for my character in Castle Crashers. And I was so pissed because I'd put so much time into it. So I looked up online how to power level your character just instantly. And you had to download this program that kind of worked like a Game Shark. Like it hacked the code of the game and changed it, and you ran it while the game was running. And when you'd hit a character, your XP would just like shoot straight up. So I did that until I got my character right around the XP he was at, and then I took it off. I still didn't have my gear, but it was better than nothing. And then I never even played Castle Crashers much after that anyway. So yeah.
So I want to say that like the older I got, the less cheats I used. But one I'm almost proud of this one. I used to play a game, and Sniper, if you can pull this up, that'd be great. I believe it's called Kadash. It was for the TurboGrafx 16. It was like an RPG, side-scrolling RPG. Something like that. Yeah, there you go. I think that's it. And I figured out that like at a certain point, you know, like you're going from left to right because it's a side scroller, and if you cross a threshold, a bad guy would spawn. Very basic stuff. But I figured out that if you stand on the actual threshold, the bad guy will just infinitely spawn. And so I just put my shoe on the attack button with like a Goomba, like the most basic guy possible, and just left it on for like 3 days. And I came back, my character was level 99 because I was like so proud that I fucking hacked the game with my shoe, dude. Not the only time that my shoe came into play, by the way. On Mega Man 3, if you hold down up on the second controller, if it's plugged in, you can't be killed. So I always use my shoe to hold up on the second controller.
Those are some weird hacks, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember
the shoe hacks.
I totally cheated on Mega Man because it's too hard. The game's too hard.
Do you guys remember what the Konami code is?
Up, down, left, right, BA, select, start.
Yeah. What about God mode in Doom?
That I don't know. It was something in the.
It's like IDD QD, I think.
I don't know it.
Do you remember? Do you know how to get 1,000 food in Age of Empires 2?
No.
Oh,
it's,
I used to know that.
Cheesesteak Jimmy's.
Yeah. There were a couple of cheat codes in that game.
You can get 1,000 of each resource, and then you can also like spawn like a Shelby Cobra that shot bullets at people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Super Mario Bros. 1, you can get near infinite extra lives by jumping a turtle shell. You guys know about that one?
There's a new one right now in the newest Super Mario that just came out for the Switch. It's actually a redesign or a remake. I don't know what to call it anymore, but a remaster. There's apparently some fucked up area like underground, and you just jump on a shell, and it keeps hitting like an enemy, and then you could literally just get infinite lives. Like,
I don't know if you need it, dude. When I went back and played Mario 3, I had like 30 lives by the time I was like an hour into the game.
I bet Mario 1 is harder than Mario 3.
Yeah, Mario 1, definitely. In Super Mario World, same thing, dude. Like, I just stacked the lives. I'm never in danger of running out of lives. Wasn't like that when I was younger. Guess I'm just better at video games now.
With my adult brain. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, as far as like games that I cheated to beat, or like the first one, because that's what it says in the question. I cheated in Grand Theft Auto 3. I was like a dumb little kid, and I was just like, and I remember at school people were talking about, oh man, these cheats work for Grand Theft Auto 3, and I was like, all right. So like I had these like scrabbled like notes on like binder paper, and I would try them, and like 1/3 of them worked because they were like there's like, oh, there's a naked one where you can make everybody naked. It's just like just stupid shit that kids say.
How would you put them in?
And so that's the thing. Like, so normally you would just go in the game, and I think I remember one of the codes. It was like up, left, down, right, triangle, square, X, circle, L1, L2, R1, R2, and then that would give you all the tier 1 guns.
I remember this, dude. I remember this.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, and it gave you all the tier 1 guns. And I think if you enter in that same sequence right now into I think it's Grand Theft Auto 5 or 4, the game tells you it's like that's not going to work again or something like that. Like there's an Easter egg about it. But
yeah, I remember that I used to use one all the time for ammo. There was one for ammo, and I was just like, ammo's stupid. Like I don't care. I'm just gonna keep ammoing up.
All right.
There's one that spawned a tank.
By the way, in my heart of hearts, Kadash looks so much better, dude. That looks so bad, so bad.
All right.
So you want to read the next one, Bobby?
No, he's eating a candy, dude. It's up to you.
Oh! I'm the only reader. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. What was your first rig? What components did you have? I talked about this the other day. My first, like, quote unquote gaming rig or gaming PC was a gaming laptop made by Asus. That shit weighed like 30 pounds.
That question from Hash Browns, by the way.
And you got a really good price on it, which is why you got it.
Yeah, I literally got it for like 87% off.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I've told this story before, but it's been a while. So settle down, kids. I know it's been a long one, but here we go. I used to go to a place called A Place to Play, and that's where I played Magic the Gathering. And in the corner of A Place to Play, there was 12 computers. On said computers, people would play 3 games. Ultima Online, EverQuest, and Tribes. And I was infinitely entertained by those, fascinated, not entertained because I wasn't playing them. I was just watching people play and just being blown away. I'm like, oh my God, this is the shit. This is the cat's pajamas. I'm going to change my whole life because of these things. And so the smart thing would have been, now in retrospect, I should have asked somebody, like, how do I buy a computer? But no, I fucking buy Gateway computers because I saw them on TV. I was like, I need a gaming computer. They didn't make gaming computers. They just made computers. So the guy's like, oh, yeah, he's not going to lose the sale. He's like, oh, yeah, we'll sell you a gaming computer. And then fucking this thing showed up for $3,000, $2,500 at least.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no fucking graphics card. It was cutting edge other than the graphics card, but I had to learn about graphics cards, go get a Voodoo card, a Voodoo 3, I believe, or Voodoo 2 or Voodoo 3, and then I started playing EverQuest. So that was my first rig. Way overpriced.
I don't even know like what my first rig would be because my parents bought a computer for the house.
Well, yeah, I had
would
a
use
Power
that.
Mac,
Mm-hmm.
but yours, dude, that you would call your
Oh,
computer.
I had a friend of mine who sold me his old computer.
Bobby has not stopped sucking on this fucking. He liked it, I think. It's almost
That's
gone.
pretty good. Yeah, it's getting there. But I bought his old computer off. I made the worst, every single bad mistake you could make when building computers. I made all the mistakes. First, I bought an old computer off of him, and then I put a graphics card into it, kind of like you did.
Yeah.
That didn't work out so well. So eventually I was like, okay, I'm just going to build a whole new computer from the ground up. So I started buying parts. So I would save up money, buy one part, save up more money, buy another part. By the time that I had all the parts I needed to put together the computer, I could have saved so much money because the price had gone down on the parts I had purchased previously.
Yeah.
And God, back in the day, prices on computer parts would drop a lot just over short periods of time.
And compatibility was an issue, I'm sure, too. No?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there were a lot more problems back then.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think my first computer. Oh God, I don't even know if this is my first one, but I always remember that build. It had a Radeon 850 XT or something. But
I remember, or this reminds me of the Johnny Cash song of the. He has a song about him working at a Chevy dealership or a factory, and every year he steals parts, and he put a car together in his garage, and he has a 65, 66, 67, 68, 69 automobile.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because it's just made out of like parts from all these different years. Anyways, next one. Nick.
All right. For our next one, we have a question for Morconius. It starts off with a link. It says, "This is exactly what gamers want." The link takes us to a post from the Halo Twitter account. It says, "Get the limited edition Pringles MOA burger flavored exclusively at Walmart. Our latest shipments from Reach have arrived, so be sure to grab them while you can."
What does MDA mean?
MOA. So it's a planet.
Oh,
And apparently on that planet, they have like extreme delicacies that only exist on that planet because food's kind of shitty in space. And so the rest of the question is, I want to eat all the fake animals in video games, chocobo flavored ramen, Pikachu kebab,
that's so
etc.
good.
What video game animal do you want to eat, and how would you prepare it?
Yeah, I would eat them all as well, dude. Fuck animals, like they're to be eaten, right? So, yeah, I try them all. I can't think of what's a cubert taste like, dude. Who knows?
It's a cubert. I think it would be, so there is a Pokemon that is literally just a scoop of ice cream. And so like probably just that.
There you go.
Like how do you bonk a scoop of ice cream and then eat it? You know?
It was a game that had newt on a stick or a lizard on a stick.
Yeah, that was
Is that Fallout?
Fallout. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know anything about that?
Iguana
So it's
sticks
called
or something.
iguana bits on a stick.
Yeah.
So it's actually human.
Oh.
Yeah, there's like a this is a rabbit hole that I jumped down when I was really into Fallout. So in the original 2 Fallouts, there's a guy that you meet that is selling iguana on a stick, and he just seems to have an infinite amount of iguana on a stick, and there just seems to be random people in the town missing and travelers missing all the time. And if you investigate and you just keep working at it, you discover that iguana on a stick is human.
It's people.
And then you end up learning that because of traders that have been going through that area and going to different parts of the United States and stuff, they've been having iguana on a stick, and they keep calling it iguana on a stick. So some people know that it's people. And because like there's iguana on a stick in Washington, D.C., but there's no iguanas native to Washington. So it's pretty crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I would eat them all as long as they're not like conscious. Like some of the Pokemon, I feel like are pretty close to being sentient, right? So that would be weird. If they could beg for their life, I'm not gonna eat it. Anything else? Yeah, it's game.
Well, I linked. I put a link to a video here of Super Nintendo World in Universal Studios Japan. Talked about this months ago when it was coming out. But there's a restaurant where you can order food inspired by Super Mario World, and the food looks absolutely amazing. All sorts of dishes, desserts, burgers, whatever you want, but it's all done like the buns or the little mushrooms from Super Mario. So many cool looking things there.
A little fucking. I want to shit on Disneyland a little bit. Sam was saying that Disneyland's coming back soon, and I was like, "Here we go again." Like I got to go to fucking Disneyland again. For almost $100 to get in, you would think there's some fucking shade in the lines, right? Shades in these hops, California stuff. No shades. Food, not that good. Is Disney themed food? Could you be buying food that they eat in the movies? That would be great. No, none of that. Just fucking burgers and fries. Why are they not doing shit like this where it's tied in, where you're eating whatever Beast ate in Beauty and the Beast? Like when you go to Universal Studios, there's a Moe's Tavern. It looks exactly like Moe's Tavern from The Simpsons. It's awesome. You can order a Flaming Moe. It's alcoholic. It's great. You get it in a big mug. Great. Yes, all good. I love it. Disneyland, fry in the sun and then go get a fucking milkshake that tastes like shit. It's fucking bullshit. Done with it.
Dude, Japan, like to ride on those coattails, Japan just does
everything right.
Theme parks 1,000 times better than America.
They do
like
everything
it is
better.
insane. Like their Universal Studios has a life-size Gundam. Like it is insane. And like they also, another thing is like they have a diorama like for Attack on Titan, which is arguably one of the most popular animes that's out right now. And like if you can look it up, Sniper, just look up like Attack on Titan Universal Studios Japan, and it shows how big one of them is compared to like a normal human, and it's like fucking terrifying, dude.
I'm sure.
And like when me and Leslie go, because we always talked about like we never really went on a real honeymoon. When we go, like our honeymoon destination, like 1,000% over, is going to be Japan.
Yeah, that thing's
and
terrifying,
so
dude.
We want to go for a minimum of 3 weeks. There it is, right there. It's in the top left, by the way. It's the one that's like eating someone, and like that shit is fucking terrifying. But they just blow it out of the water, dude. They blow America out of the water when it comes to like entertainment and like adapting media for just general consumption.
Damn, that is awesome.
I wanted to make a Pearl Harbor joke when you said they blow America out of the water, but I couldn't think of a good way to word that.
Jesus Christ.
I gotta pee again.
Dude, Pearl Harbor is arguably one of the worst of all time, like military operations. Like it went terribly wrong. But well, that's for another time. So we have Aurora Wolf with another question is, what are some of your favorite gaming trends since you've started gaming? Battle Royale, crafting survival, AAA quality, indie games as a service, etc.
I don't know. Probably the one I bought into most was MOBAs. Really got into that. Rode that one out. Little late on that too. But I don't know. I don't jump. I really like the trend of indie games, and this popped up a long time ago, maybe about 10 years ago. Indie games just really started becoming a major focus for a lot of people in gaming. Spice is hitting me. Excuse me. But we started getting these really great games that were very affordable and just opened up this whole new world of creativity. And now I feel like AAA gaming is just kind of eating its own tail. It's just, you know everything about a game before it comes out, and it's doing all the same stuff that all the other AAA games are doing. There's just nothing new. And for an old gamer like me, it's just not very appealing. So
I think you probably said it the best way with like the eating its own tail analogy. It's like when AAA games release, you do see everything. That's why certain games like God of War and like God of War 2 will probably be amazing as well. Like they show a tiny bit, maybe the first 2 minutes of the game, and then you get your mind blown out of the water when you play it. So, as far as my answer to this question, dude, it's 100% Battle Royale. As someone who used to play Call of Duty like insanely well, when I was playing with my friends, and I'm going to sound like a fucking crazy person, I remember talking to my friends. I'm like, dude, what if they had like a Call of Duty where it was 100 people and you just have one life and you just kill each other? And they were like, dude, that'd be awesome. And like literally a month later, PUBG comes out and we all freak the fuck out and we buy it and we play it for so long. Like I remember playing PUBG like 6-7 hours a day with my friends, and there was no even reason to. There was no progression at the time. Yeah. And like we still played.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, Battle Royales were, I never really liked them too much myself, but I always thought they solved a real fundamental problem we had in games for a very long time. And that is this form of punishment that a game imposes on you when you die. It puts you on a timeout, and the Battle Royales come along and say, okay, you died, just join another game. And it doesn't affect the people who are playing the first game that you were in. They go on and continue playing their game, and it gets more exciting for them as they progress further in that, and then you get to start another game. So it's a win-win. And it's just like, how long did it take us? It just seems so archaic now when games put you on that timeout. Like, you're dead for 60 seconds. Just sit there and watch other people play. It's like, no, dude. I have things to do.
Bobby, are you okay? Looks like you're having an allergic reaction or something.
No,
okay,
just
your
like...
eyes are getting fucking watery. They're kind of red.
No, because when I started talking, the spice hit the back of my throat.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
I started coughing a little bit.
Gotcha.
What about you, Emilio? You want me to read the question?
No,
again,
I
or
got
did
it.
You, do you know?
I got it. 100% it's roguelikes, man. I never played Rogue. The first roguelike I played was Dungeons of Dreadmore. I liked it,
It's a good game.
but I wasn't like, this is my shit now. And then I was listening to a PC Gamer podcast, and they were talking about Binding of Isaac being the quintessential roguelike. Play Binding of Isaac, and we all know how that goes. And I'm going to very quickly try to succinctly put why roguelikes are fantastic. You can play in small little chunks. Like Nick was saying, I only have an hour. Baby's asleep. In 1 hour, you can probably have 2, 3, 4 runs of a roguelike. And the great thing about it is you don't have to learn a new game. You are already well versed on all the rules of this game, but you never know what's going to happen when you play this game that you know so well. It's fucking beautiful for time saving. That's why I like roguelikes, and that's why it's my answer.
Amelia, have you ever played For the King?
I have. Did you talk about it already?
No, but just a heads up, they came out with a new DLC, and they also have a roguelike game mode now.
Oh, cool.
Like even more of a roguelike how it already is.
Nice.
So that's just a shout out to that.
Yeah.
So we have Aurora Wolf actually has 3 questions. Let's get to the second one. What games are fun to watch being streamed regardless of whether or not the player is good at it?
For me, it's anything that I'm super interested in. Just any game that I want to learn tips and tricks. Like, you don't read EGM anymore. You watch a streamer and see what the fuck he's doing. I guess, especially for like PUBG. I don't know how these guys were looting so quick, man.
One of my things, hands down, is watching people play games. I think the one for me is Rust, because people that are new to Rust or people that suck at Rust, you see like their eyes open to the horrors of like the assholes on Rust, or the inhumanity, or sometimes very nice people. I played Rust and met angels, and it's always fun to watch people that are new or people that aren't too good and have see their experiences. What about you, Bobby?
I can't think of anything. So a game that's fun to watch being streamed, even if they're not good at it. I mean, I guess any of those games like Fallout or the it's the imposter game, Among Us. I guess it doesn't require much skill. Any sort of like fumble core type of game.
Yeah, Fall Guys.
Yeah. Fall Guys, when we were talking about it last week, 2 weeks ago, can't remember. Last week. So we were watching on the screen some gameplay of it, and I was just mesmerized by it. I don't know why. I was like, just, this full scale army of American gladiators going through this thing. And
do you have it on your account?
We should play, man.
No, I never played it.
Play it.
We should play. We should play this week for our game night.
I was surprised it's kind of pricey though. It's still at $20, and I don't think it's a game that goes on sale. Yeah, but it's worth it because
I think the cheapest I've seen is $12.50.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, I could always play it off of your account, but I don't know if I'd be very good at that
I'm
game.
going to be playing, dude, and you're not going to be good, and that's the whole point, dude.
We got to play together, like for a game night, or do a streaming event for that. That would be really good.
Yeah.
So to keep moving, Aurora Wolf's last question is: what is the minimum amount of storage a PC gamer should have on their PC nowadays? I think that's a 2-parter question. I think the minimum amount of storage is at least 1 terabyte, but the big deciding factor is having an SSD or not. There's so many games nowadays that having an SSD, not having an SSD is a serious disadvantage. Like Tarkov being one of them, and a couple other ones where just having an SSD is just not a good time. So I would say 1 terabyte minimum. Like I have 2 terabytes, but 1 terabyte is probably the minimum.
Yeah. No, I'd say 1 terabyte. Games are getting huge these days. And yeah, an SSD is absolutely necessary. And there's really no excuse these days. You can buy a Samsung 980 Pro, like the new one, the new M.2 with the PCI Express 4.0 compatibility, NVMe, like really, really good. You can buy a 1 terabyte for $200 right now on Amazon. Like that, and that's like top shelf right there. That's better than the one I got.
And
I just got my first SSD last week. I'm in the SSD land. I'm here. Hello.
You were
Wasn't it
still-
nice loading into Squad like instantaneously?
Yeah, dude. It's been really nice. Yeah.
he's been on turntables until right now, dude. Like
Yeah.
fucking spinning discs.
I read something like day before yesterday on the Total War subreddit, and the average loading time for like a high end like normal hard drive into like going into a battle was 5 minutes and 30 seconds.
Ooh.
But like the average like loading in time was like for an SSD was like 63 seconds.
Oh my
But
god.
loading
Dude,
out was worse. Like loading out was like 18 minutes.
that's
It was
why I stopped
insane.
playing Warhammer Total War, dude, because I was like, they take forever. I can't play. It's ridiculous. And to
You should
setting
play
up a
now.
paradox game, like one of those grand strategy types, loading the world took probably like 15 to 20 minutes. Like it was it was fucking crazy.
Yeah. We got to play a Total War multiplayer campaign
Sniper, what are
together,
you
but
doing
it
with
is
your
so
life,
different now.
dude? Jesus Christ.
There was an article this last week, I believe, about Seagate announced that by 2030 they're going to have 100 terabyte hard drives, and they're going to be common. And then shortly after that, they're going to be working on the following years, 120 terabytes should be available. But that's crazy. So that's 9 years away. 9 years away, they're going to have 100 terabyte hard drives. I'm thinking 9 years back, I think I had a NAS with 4 terabyte hard drives, and that was like crazy, dude. Like 4 terabyte hard drives, holy shit!
That
So
external?
When are you going to store
Or
it?
no?
no, it was in a NAS, a network detached storage. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, but
What do you call it?
yeah, 100 terabytes, dude. That's insane. And that's for a spinning disk, of course. But when those get bigger, that causes the price to go down on other SSDs and things like that. But storage is getting cheaper. When SSDs came out, it took them a while to get under $1 per gig. For quite some time, they were more expensive than that. And that was for like the 2.5 inch, the little ones. Now we've got the NVMe ones that like snap into your motherboard like nothing.
And there's the SD card. There's a 1 terabyte SD cards now. 1 terabyte SD card.
Yeah, I mean, I have a 256 gig SD card that I use with my camera. Yeah.
Cool story.
crazy.
I just talked about 4 times that storage.
Well, I'm saying, dude, that's might be expensive, but I bought this 256 years ago.
Yeah.
They've had giant SD cards. Storage is, unlike everything else in computer hardware, storage is actually pretty good right now. In a good spot.
Yeah. So next question we have Chubbs McLubs. What critically acclaimed games, in your opinion, do you just not understand why people love them so much? Everyone loves Doom Eternal, but I just didn't see it hit the same chord as Doom 2016 for me. I can't bring myself to want to finish it. Also, Breath of the Wild is a great open world game, not what I wanted from a Zelda game.
Dude, you could have just... your answers could have been my answers, practically. There was that one game where you could play the pacifist mode, and it was a really shitty graphics. Undertale. Never... I played it, I beat it, and I'm like, I don't know why it's getting the acclaim that it's getting.
Everybody was really, really excited about that game. And I think it was because, it came out at a time where you didn't see a lot of games like that, where there were other options other than just running around and killing things. And there were so many little secrets in that game and things that you could do. And, you just mess around and try something, and all of a sudden, boom, like, oh, the game actually responds to that. Yeah. So I think a lot of people had some cool experiences like that, but I played it kind of after the fact, and it felt a little forced. I wasn't having too much fun. But yeah, same thing. Doom Eternal, didn't finish that game. The first Doom was 6 hours long. Doom Eternal is at least 12. So it's a much longer game, and I don't know if it sustains itself. And Breath of the Wild, yeah, same thing. Didn't get it. Couldn't get into it.
Yeah, couldn't get into it either.
Mine, hands down, is Genshin Impact. I don't know how the fuck people like that game, dude.
Wow, really?
I just don't. I don't understand it. So, I have no other statement. I just don't understand how people like it.
Just don't get it. There's so many games. It's not even fair to ask me a question like that because it's like the majority of games, like pretty much anything AAA these days, I'm just not really into.
Bobby, something I don't know. This conversation just reminded me of this. There's that Defense Force game that Gummy and Cricket were playing, where like there's giant insects attacking Earth, and you fight them off. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Fuck. Anyway, I want to remind you that I want to play that game with you. I feel like we would have some fun.
Earth Defense Force. Yes, they have a newest one that came out last year too.
Yeah, that's the one.
It's like a super memey game. Like it's really funny.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go to the next one.
All right, we have the Livingston. What features would you put in Hades 2? And he gives it a custom name. It's Hades 2 Dionysus Crysis.
What more can you pack into that game? Bobby, you still haven't played it, huh?
No, I've not played it.
Definitely more weapons.
I would say more bosses. More bosses, more level types. Just more of the same shit. Like as weird as it sounds.
Well,
just give me more bosses, more level types.
As cool as the first boss was, because you can get one of the three sisters anytime, and then sometimes you get all three of them at the same time. The other bosses had no variations. So
yeah, or very minimal. Like the minimal. Hydra is super easy in pretty much every facet or every type of itself. So
yeah. So if the bosses had more variations, even if they were the same bosses, that would be great. More weapons would be great. Yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, everything else is fucking perfect.
Cool. So it doesn't really apply to Bobby. So we'll go to the next.
Dionysus Crysis. That's funny.
The next question we have: Tryhard Face. All casters, past and present, are at a dinner party. The power goes out for a minute, and when the lights come back, Emilio is murdered. Who done it, and how do you know? My answer is Emilio's liver, and it finally gives out. Like that's the answer.
That's hilarious, dude.
Alcohol poisoning.
Scroll down a little bit. Whoever's in charge. Yeah. What do you think, Bobby?
I don't know. Maybe Chad.
He's like, "Fuck you! This is
if
for
anybody
insulting
could
Starship
murder somebody,
Troopers."
it'd probably be Chad.
Yeah. Probably.
This is for making fun of Starship Troopers. It's a great book.
I would think it was Chi, just because chicks are crazy, man. All right.
Chicks are crazy. Hash Browns asks, "What is the most lackluster game you have ever played? Just in general." I feel like we had like the Batman Arkham series. The second Batman of the Batman Arkham series, I was just like, this is just so weird. Like the first one was amazing, and like the second one was almost exactly like the first one, but I just for some odd reason they didn't hit the same chord.
You know what's insane, Nick? That's exactly my answer too. And I've got a little story that I'm sure I've told.
Yeah.
Just quickly, it's Asylum and then City, right?
I don't know.
Asylum and
they all blend together. And that's kind of my point here, because I had played the first two Batman games, and one day, like years later, I was like, it was good, those Batman games, those are pretty good, right? I should go back and play the second one. And I load it up, I install it, however many gigs, I load it up, and then it's like, oh, I've beaten this game. I've played all the way through and beaten this game, and I have zero recollection of doing that. Yeah. No memory at all. Like it's deleted from my mind. I don't know. It was so it didn't leave any mark whatsoever. So yeah, I feel like that's the definition of a lackluster game.
I would agree with you that I concur.
I wish I had an answer that was that good, man. We're going to have to pass on this one.
All right. So the final question is a super meta question from Days. What, in your opinion, is the end game strategy to life?
I think Bobby would probably say that making a bunch of good investments and having a bunch of money to fucking write it out on.
Yeah, that helps, but I don't know what I'm going to do with all that money.
Yeah.
I'll figure
Give it to
something
me.
out. I don't know.
I think honestly, in my opinion, is discover parts of the world that you don't know, whether it be like Mars or when by the time I get old.
Yeah, old people
but
always
as-
say travel. It's like, travel.
Yeah.
And I never thought, I never really cared to travel before, but as I'm getting older, I'm like, yeah, it would be kind of nice to go see different parts of the world.
My mom and dad went to Italy. Like, mind you, that's the first time they've ever been away from the Americas at all. And they went when
From
my
the
dad
Americas,
was 62.
from the colonies.
No, like I'm talking about, like they've been to Mexico, they've been in like
Okay.
other places.
I see.
They've been to Canada
From the
and, like,
continent, from North America.
yeah, and so like my parents went to Italy and they were just like, oh fuck, like this is what traveling's about. Like this is why people do this. And so
Yeah.
they were like, we got to do this more. So they're planning on going, I think, to Spain next year.
Good for them, man. I've always been into travel. I've been a lot of places, I feel like. I don't know. I guess what most old people would say would be like watching the little ones grow up and helping with that, right? So you gained a bunch of knowledge, you're old as shit, and all you have left is your breath and your fucking knowledge. So you just pass that on and try to help out your kids raise their kids. I guess that's what that is all about.
I think that those two answers are probably the best amalgamation of the two, which is like, in your personal time, do something that you weren't able to do when you were younger or middle aged, and in your family time, help out as much as you can. Really,
Yeah.
So definitely don't spend your last year's gaming.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
maybe
no,
you know.
Well, I definitely think like if I'm put into like a home, gaming's gonna be my shit, man. As long as I can get some sort of little unit.
Yeah, I know. Like the idea of being put in a home doesn't really seem that bad, dude.
Not to me.
Yeah.
As a
Yeah,
gamer.
dude. Put me in a home right now, dude. Put me up there in Shady Pines.
Bring me three fucking meals a day, liver and onions, mashed up peas, and whatever else. We're fucking done, dude.
I mean, they got
Playing video games all
gigabit?
day.
Because if so, then yeah, let's do it. You know, like,
some poor immigrant lady wiping my ass, dude. That sounds like paradise, man.
well, I don't know about that part, but
It's like that WoW thing where where Cartman just sits
Mom,
over-
bathroom.
but you see that from time to time. They'll have an article of like the Skyrim granny or something.
Yeah.
Or, someone posted something
Who quit,
recently.
by the way.
Yeah.
There's
Who quit because
the
too
Silver
much.
Bullets, which is
too many comments.
the pro gaming elderly team. Like everybody's above the age of 60.
Yeah, like you see that stuff. Somebody posted something in Discord recently about some old Chinese guy who plays lots of games or something. But yeah, I guess there's people out there that do that. And I guess it's better than going to the casino.
Fuck yeah, it is. Unless you win, Bobby.
I don't know. I just look forward to a time in my life where everything is not so compressed. Like I don't know if this is how it's going to be, but when you were young, you didn't really think about time in like a finite matter. You know, it just seemed like the day seemed so long, right? So I'm looking forward to another time in my life like that where it's just, and you know, I don't think it's that I'm so busy right now. I feel like it's, not to sound arrogant, but I feel like I'm just too useful right now. Like people are always just like offering me jobs or like this or that, you know, things like that, or like, hey, can you help me with this? And I don't know. I feel like I should stop being so useful with things like as I get older. Just be like, I don't know what the fuck that is. I need to plug it into the wall or something. I don't know. So people just like stop coming to me with this stuff.
Like me today, dude. I was like, dude, come in the backyard. Let's talk shop.
Yeah. So I don't know. I look forward to that. I do see that happening though. Like as I get older, like people ask less and less of me. So.
Dude, I was just thinking, dude, like if I pulled Bobby in the back to talk about my outdoor theater, and he was just like, I don't know, I guess you just plug it in or something. I would have been like, what the fuck? I'm never asking you for anything again, dude. So yes, that is the answer.
That's
Bobby.
that's a strategy. Yeah.
I heard two quotes that's really telling about what you said as far as like time being a finite thing. The one was our parents' generation lived to work. However, we the newest generation of works to live, and it's why there's so many calls for more time with like family members and shit. And then the second quote is the gap between 14 and 18 feels way longer than the gap between 25 and 35.
That's probably true. Because you can't wait to get older. And then once you hit 25 or let's say 30, after 30, I don't even care about birthdays anymore. Like, it's just like, I don't even, sometimes I forget how old I am. Like, none of that shit matters really.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like work is very different these days too. For a lot of people, well, definitely for me, it's much more. Yeah, I don't come in, punch a clock. I'm on the clock. I'm doing stuff, and then I mean, in the modern day with email and just communication being so easily, it's very easy to. God, especially in education, it's so easy to spend more time working than you should. And God, look at the gaming or the game development too. Like people dedicate that's their life. You know, that's their whole life is making games. You know, it just consumes everything.
That's one thing that I just got a new job in the military, essentially, not like a whole new job, but like a new position. And my boss asked me to stay after like work to keep working. I was like, nah, dude, I'm done. Like, I'm done for the day. I'm out. Like, I don't stay late. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I just don't. Like, I'm not on your time anymore.
Yeah,
and
that's good.
Like, it wasn't like a lawful order or anything. And like, dude, before I joined the military, I would get calls from people like, hey, can you come in today? I'm like, nope, my time off. Like, the thought of working extra, if it's not your personal hobby, that's not your job. The thought of fucking working extra is like poison, dude. There's even for extra money, it's not even worth it to me. My time is more valuable than money.
It's so good that you told your boss that, but dude, because you're setting a precedent, especially on your new, like this guy is like, oh, nobody's ever told him no before, and he's just
it's exactly what he is. He's in the Air Force, and like they're known for being like, hey, can you stay extra? Can you work the weekend? Can you do this? And people are always like groveling, and they're like, yeah, sure, totally. Dude, I don't care what happens with my military career because I'm getting out in a year. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like he's, and not to get too much into my personal life, but my job is finite. Like the things I do, like I have a meeting at this time. I'm done for the day, right? There may be things that pop up, but it's extremely rare. And I go, hey man, the Navy has released me. Like I can go for the day. Do you need me to do anything? He goes, yeah, just sit at your desk until your 8 hours are done. And I go, no. I'm asking you, do you have any work for me to do? If not, I'm going home because I don't get paid hourly. And so he's like, well, don't you have any Navy things you need to do, like to advance your career? I'm like, I'm not staying in the military. He's like, okay. Do you have any educational things? I'm like, I already got a bachelor's degree. I don't need it. And he's just like, well, just sit at your desk. And I'm like, nope, I'm out.
I love it, dude. I'm so proud of you right now, dude.
And I left, and like my Navy like boss was like, hey, did you leave early yesterday? I was like, yeah. And I explained the situation. He's like, oh hell yeah, just go home, dude.
There you go.
Like,
nice.
The concept of fucking work. I hate it. I hate it. Like being away from actually having a family now, and like having a daughter, and like working from home, making $10,000 less than I do now, or even $20,000 less, sounds way better than fucking driving an hour every day to work, losing 2 hours of my life just driving, and then going to a place I hate being at, and then coming back home and wasting 9 hours of my life.
Yeah. Well, I don't hate my job that much, but I've been in that situation. I remember going to HR when I worked tech support, and I was like, what is the least amount I can work and still get benefits? I said, all right, I'll do that. But even now during COVID and all this distance stuff that we're doing with work, it's even harder to separate work and your personal life. It's unfortunate, man. There's lots of books out there that talk about this stuff, like how to separate that and how to reclaim your time, because it's crazy how quickly that'll just go away.
I'm gonna go ahead, Nick.
One thing, like just to finish off my thing, because this just came up to my mind. One thing that I told my boss, I was like, dude, I do not mind working like at all, as long as you give me meaningful work. And if you just give me like busy work, like changing ones and zeros on an Excel spreadsheet, I'm not gonna do it. But if you give me like a job, like there's something I can't talk about, but something that occurred the other day, and I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome. This is fun. Like this is cool. And like my boss is like, hey, you're excited to work. I'm like, yeah, because this is fun. This is cool. Like I'm not gonna stay at work when you want me to do like useless shit. So.
I'm trying to figure out what this comic is called, and I think it's there's this comic. It's a small 4-panel comic usually. It's has aliens in it, and they call things by what they actually are.
Oh yeah, the cute alien comics where they call things. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Hold up.
Everything is like, I don't know. Anyway, there's this one that fucking nails life and time. It's poetic and it's so short. Yeah, those ones, exactly those ones. What is it called?
Yeah, they're called relatable aliens. That's
relatable aliens. So they're looking at human interactions as aliens. So they call things actually what they are, not what we call them, which is culturally what they are. Anyway, there's this one where the two parents see the kid come out of this room, and they're like, "Why are you conscious? We told you to be unconscious. We told you to go to bed." And he's like, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't become unconscious. Why are you guys conscious? Oh, it's important for you to grow and like become a big person. Like you need to be unconscious. And he's like, why are you guys conscious? And they said, we are in decline. And he said, I find that troubling. And they say, so do we. I was just like, holy shit, man. It's 4 panels, and it just nails everything right there, man. It's just like, yeah, he needs to sleep. We stay up late to fucking find whatever kind of solace or entertainment we can, killing ourselves even faster. But it doesn't matter because we're already past due. And it was just like, man, that one hit me pretty strongly. I think we should wrap on
This guy blew up on Reddit, and like like you said, his comics just fucking hit home every time.
Yeah, man, he has really good ones.
Nathan Pyle. Okay.
And on that, speaking for Nick, Chris, Bobby, and myself, relatable tits. Bye. Somebody has anything to say?
Nope.
Or whatever that was.
What was that?